stupid things. It's like, go to sleep, brain.
Same reason. Yep.
Yep.
Welcome to the dark side of the paranormal with your hosts, June Lundgren and Wendy Stanton. Stay with us as we discuss all things paranormal. Welcome to the dark side.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Dark Side of the Paranormal. Tonight, we have as our special guest, Karen Anderson, animal communicator and author of The Amazing Afterlife of Animals, Messages and Signs from Our Pets, On the Other Side, and Hear All Creatures, The Journey of an Animal Communicator. Welcome, Karen.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for being on tonight.
Thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this.
We should warn everyone, Skype is having problems tonight, so if we drop off, we apologize.
That's not our fault.
No, can't help it.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, at its finest.
So, Karen, when did you first know that you had abilities or discover your abilities?
Well, I could do this as a kid, but I thought everybody could. I didn't think it was, different or unusual. I thought everyone understood the animals. And when I started sharing what I was getting from my childhood animals with my mom and my dad, they kind of freaked out on me. And they're like, what are you doing? How do you know this stuff? And they didn't know, they didn't know what to do. So they told me I had an overactive imagination.
Oh.
No.
And stopped talking to the dog, Karen. And then I started seeing spirits, family members who had passed on. And I was describing, great-grandfathers and other people, spirit. It was all good. I had all good experiences that were coming around. And so that really freaked them out. Now, this was back in the 60s. So, this whole concept of afterlife was, a little bit different than what it is today. But, and it was a childhood ability that was not nurtured because I learned very quickly that my parents didn't like me to share that information. I felt like I was bad or wrong or doing something wrong, so I didn't tell them anymore. I would just keep it to myself. And then, as time goes by, you forget. You turn it off, you don't use it, and so it goes away. If you don't use it, you lose it. And it wasn't until I was a police officer in Colorado that's where everything started to snowball and come back.
What happened to make that happen?
Well, a little unsuspecting me wasn't thinking that I was, I look back on it now, it's like, what was I thinking? Okay, so I became a deputy in a mountain district. It was a huge area. The entire district was the size of Rhode Island, if you can imagine that. And there were only 8 officers on my side of the district. Have you guys heard of the cartoon Comedy Central South Park? Do you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, South Park is a real place.
No.
Yes, it's really real. In fact, the jail was in South Park. And when I would take bad guys and bad girls to jail, there's a little sign on the side of the road that says, "Welcome to South Park." And it's got Kenny and Cartman and all the guys on the sign.
Were you the one that kept bringing Kenny back to life?
I know, right? And you know what? It's so funny because the stories that they make fun of, like the UFOs and all the stuff in South Park, that's real. I can attest to you, I actually had experiences out there, crazy experiences in South Park. Anyone who knows that area, Fairplay, Colorado, and South Park, their heads are going, yep, yep. We had cattle mutilations, that bizarre, really strange cases. There were lights. There were all kinds of weird things that happened. Anyway, so I don't know what I was thinking, but I felt like this need to give back to my community, and I became a deputy. And this department was so small. I was the only female officer, and I worked alone. And because I was the only female officer, guess what they did? They wanted to test me, right? So they threw me onto the night shift right out of the academy.
Oh, no.
Yep. So I worked by myself on the night shift. Sometimes the nearest backup car was a half an hour or more away. They were asleep in bed at home. I mean, this isn't like big city, cops on TV where there's 25 police cars that pull up on a scene. No, it was me out there. I know. I think back now, I'm like, what was I thinking? So anyway, I worked alone, Mountain District, and I'd have to respond to every call. 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, whatever it was. I had to go by myself, and I learned very quickly that I had to start paying attention to my extra senses, right? You start reading energy, you start picking up on what feels right, what doesn't feel right, you start, watching body language, and so you start tuning in to the things that you before that did not tune into so much because my life depended on it, right? I mean, come on, we're talking about life or death situation here.
And you become hypersensitive.
Exactly. You know what? Cops call it a gut instinct. You'll never hear a cop say, "Oh, I used my intuitive abilities to figure out." They'll never say that. It's always, "Oh, it was my gut instinct that told me who the bad guy was," or whatever. And so that's where it all started to kind of snowball for me. And I had been practicing animal communication with my own pets at the time, just because I wanted to, and I love them so much. Of course, we all love our babies, right? And the combination of being in that heightened sense of awareness and actively opening up my abilities, boom, everything started to snowball. I started getting messages from pets that were on crime scenes telling me who did it, who was guilty. Now, remember, they're giving it from an authentic place of just what they saw. It wasn't like, oh, he's the bad guy, she's the bad girl, or whatever. It's just they'd show me, and I'd see images of what actually happened, or they would tell me what actually happened before I arrived on scene. And I was like, I can't put this in a police report, right? I mean, how am I going to explain to my sergeant that my confidential informant had 4 legs and a tail?
It's not admissible in court.
Yeah. Needless to say, I didn't tell anybody because I would have been the laughing stock of the department. It's bad enough being the only female on the department. I got put through, oh my God, these guys, it was such a boys' club. And, I understand. They want to make sure that I would have their back and I wasn't going to wimp out or any of that stuff. I get it, because we're talking about people's lives here. But man, I went through so much scrutiny. Everything I did was I had to be smarter, faster, quicker, better, score higher. I had to do everything better because everyone was scrutinizing me so much. So there was no way I was going to tell anybody that what the heck was going on. I kept it to myself. Again, I kept it to myself.
Yeah, I just guessed. Yeah, okay. There's your answer all the time.
Exactly.
You have this split instinct.
Right, gut instinct. Yep.
What was one of your craziest ones that the animals discussed with you, if you're able to even talk about those sort of things?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm happy to. I think one of the things that stands out in my mind was we got a call for a felony warrant that the guy rolled his car. He was DUI, rolled his car, and he had a felony warrant, outstanding warrant, and it was nighttime, pitch black. There's no street lights up in the mountains, so it's pitch black. And he took off in this field. So it was summertime, thank goodness. There was no snow. It was summertime. We're out in this field. We're looking for this guy with our flashlights. And, of course, he can see us a mile away. But because I was the girl, I was always left to do, like, the stuff that no one else wanted to do, right? Because all the guys wanted where all the action was. And so, yeah, I know. So my sergeant told me to stay where I was and hold perimeter. I was always...
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
Nope. Our way, in other words.
Yeah, it's basically like, well, Karen, we don't really want you involved in where the action is, so you stay here and keep an eye on perimeter. So I was out there in this one area. It was wide open, and there was just really tall grass all around and woods, really thick, tall trees behind me and around me. And all I had was my pack set, the little radio that we talked to each other. And I could hear all the activity. They were probably a half mile down the road, and I could hear them chattering away on their radios. Well, as I was sitting there in the darkness, a herd of deer started to come through the field, and they knew I was there, and they were, just kind of munching away on the grass. Now, all the activity was to my left, so there's all these other cops running around to my left. Well, the deer kept looking to my right. And I'm sitting there in the darkness by myself going, And I thought, I wonder where he is, the bad guy, right? All of a sudden, the deer that were right in front of me literally sent me the message behind the logs. There were these, like, trees that had fallen down. There was a stack of logs over to my right. I heard it as clear as day. It's my own voice in my own head, but I wasn't thinking behind the logs.
Right.
And the deer looked straight at me. And you can see their little deer in the headlight eyeballs. And I went, oh, my God, this guy is here.
Right here.
What if he's really there? So of course, I sneak around, I pull out my weapon, and I sneak around to where these logs were, and I found, like, this really commanding voice deep down inside me, and I said, put your hands up, Sheriff's Department, and sure enough, bloop, these two little hands came up from behind the logs. Now, yeah, who was more surprised, him or me? I don't know. I had no idea the guy was actually going to be there. So that was kind of shocking because the deer told me where he was.
That's hilarious. I bet the guys just loved that.
I know, right?
Got him.
I know. Well, he was DUI. He didn't know what was going on, anyhow. He just knew that his little gig was up. And, when I think back on it, it's crazy, right? It's totally crazy. But when you're in that moment and you're suddenly realizing you're in this field, pitch blackness at night by yourself, you've got nobody. Something goes wrong, you got nobody. You got only yourself, your own instincts, and the deer. And you need to do something. You need to figure this out. And I would have to say that probably stands out as one of the most crazy moments I ever experienced. I mean, my heart was pounding in my chest. I mean, I was like shaking in my police boots, and I was, I think, very surprised when those two little hands came up. I'm like, oh my God, he's really there.
I love it. That's great.
So did the guys ask you how you found him?
Of course they did.
I knew that.
I got a lot of high fives and pats on the back and, way to go, Anderson, woohoo. And, guys have to do all that stuff. And, and I was like, yeah. And they're like, how did you figure that out? I just had a feeling. I just had a feeling. I got instinct.
Their faces. The deer told me.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
I would have never heard the end of that. Never.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Hey, there's a time you keep your confidential informants confidential.
Yes, no, I can't spill the beans. No.
Do not disclose your CIs under any circumstances.
Even if it is a herd deer.
Personal is being compromised. We can't have that.
I look back on that and I think, what in the heck was I thinking? I mean, seriously, what was I doing out there? I don't know.
Animals communicate to you and you hear them in your voice?
Yeah, I hear it in my head in my voice. There have been a couple of times where the animal's voice has come through either male or female that wasn't mine, and that freaked me out. That was weird. It's like, who's in my head? That's really weird, especially
Because
in there.
when I hear them in their voice. I never hear them in my voice.
Oh, yeah. Man. That's just totally weird to me. So, yeah, it's usually in my voice in my head.
Yeah, but I grew up with that. My grandmother said, even as a baby, the animals were coming to me and just sleeping around my crib, and they wouldn't leave me alone.
Oh, wow.
So
I love you.
Like you, I thought everybody could do that.
Right. It's when you're a kid, you think that's normal. You just think everyone does this. You don't realize you're doing something weird.
You're strange.
Someone tells you until your parents freak out and they're like, stop.
Well, see, my grandmother was a medium, so she was not surprised. All the women in our family have abilities of one kind or another.
Well, mine do too, but they won't honor it. They get scared by it, and to this day, my mom, she finally gets it. She doesn't get as weirded out as she used to, and now she sends all of her tennis friends to me. You have to contact my daughter, or this, that, and the other. But yeah, she has abilities. My grandmother had abilities, but nobody ever really said, we know how to do this, or we have this ability. So.
And they just did it without really saying much about it.
Yep, I think it does go through the generations. It does, come down through.
Yeah, it's with us. It's the women in the family that have the abilities.
All my kids have them. All my kids. There's 2 of them are empaths. One's flat out psychic, and his 6-year-old daughter is too.
Oh, wow.
I was raised by parents who didn't understand it, but they knew something was up because they saw what I would say. I would tell them different things, and they knew that I was not crazy. They didn't get it, but they didn't tell me there was something wrong with me. I remember getting sent into a counselor's office, like I was maybe 6, and they were discussing things with me. Well, how do you know these different things? Because I told somebody something. Not, when you're little, you don't realize it.
Right.
I made the mistake of commenting, well, something had happened. I don't remember now what. And I'm like, stuff just comes to me. And then I stop and I'm like, something's wrong with my sister. They're like, okay, right. All of a sudden, my mom calls the school. Something was going on with my sister. Mm-hmm. And they just kind of looked at me and they're like, okay, you can go back to your class now.
Yeah. I think, looking back now, what would have happened if someone actually nurtured those abilities, those early abilities? I mean, I would be, I would have skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Now, if someone had taken me seriously and nurtured it and been like, what, that's really awesome, and, keep doing it, or tell me more, or what else do they tell you? Something.
Yeah.
Instead of telling you don't do this. This is wrong. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, my grandma, I was lucky for the first 5 years because my grandma nurtured that. But once I left her and went back to my parents, my mother anyway, it was like I couldn't talk to the animals anymore. It wasn't allowed because it was, you were strange and I'm not going to have that.
Right.
Yeah. But I did it anyway.
Strangeness. Come on, it's cool.
I totally feel your pain there. And so anybody who's listening, if you have children or grandchildren at home that show any kind of psychic abilities, please honor them and please help them along their path. It is natural. We're all born with some level of intuition, and it's actually unnatural to not use those abilities.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true. And it's a gift from God, you know.
Exactly.
Yep.
I mean, it's there for a reason. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's just so many people get scared by it.
They are. They're scared by what they don't understand. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It breaks them out.
I think if more people were open with it, you know, in the families, then it wouldn't be so bad. But like saying, my mom was never open about it, and she had abilities, but she just kind of, you know, didn't want to have anything to do with them or anything like that. So she just kind of, and then therefore she didn't want me to have any, you know, thing to do with it either. So.
Yep.
So
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
But here we are. Here we are today. We found our voice.
Yes.
And we do our best, all of us, to help other people.
I know. I'm like the biggest advocate of anyone else who honors their gifts. I am like their biggest fan, and always supporting my fellow psychic friends. And whenever they have events or they're doing anything, it's like, you know what? We're all in this together. We should all help each other. There's plenty of clients out there for everyone.
Yeah.
And, you know, the more the merrier, in my opinion. The more we help each other, the more we stand together, the more united we are, and we give each other credibility. So I'm a huge advocate of helping my and standing by my fellow psychic friends.
Amen.
I think that Seth Michael, he was kind of surprised to hear me say that I like animals better than I do people. He's like, I never knew that about you, and I've known you for years.
No, come on. What's wrong with that boy?
I mean, at one time I got married, we had 8 dogs. There you go. It was a blended family.
Well, you know, being a police officer, you learn very quickly that you not only don't like humans, you don't trust them.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
You know, that was my deal for the longest time. I just didn't trust anyone. And when you're a cop, there's two different types of people in the world. There's other cops, and then there's the rest of the world. Because nobody, unless you've worn the uniform and worn the badge, you just don't know what we go through. You have no idea the stuff that we see and the things we have to put up with. And when you try to explain this to someone who hasn't been through it, they just can't even wrap their head around it. So you just kind of glom together with the other cops because they're the only ones who really get what you're going through.
Yeah, and my grandfather was a policeman. I have a couple of uncles that were police officers. One was a sheriff of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and you know, it's just you have them in the family. That's just the way it is.
My sister was many moons ago.
It is a tough job. Thankless, tough job.
It is.
Yeah, I don't have to carry a sidearm with me when I do this work anymore. Thank goodness.
Yep. Yeah, I've been in the nursing profession for 43 years, going on 44, and it's kind of tough too, unfortunately.
It is. Yep. And you see people at their worst like that.
Yep.
Yeah, people see people dying of cancer or going through dementia, Alzheimer's. It's sad to see them progress. I've been at the place I worked for 14 years, and I've known some of those patients all that entire time, and to see them, you know, regress.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
And you want to help them not have to be in that position.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. How does animal communication impact your life?
I think probably the biggest thing that has impacted me is that I went for the longest time without really knowing what happens when we die. And, you know, you see stuff on TV, read stuff in books, but, you know, that's kind of like the question that we have is what happens to us when we die? What happens to our pets when they die? Do they go somewhere? Are they in a rainbow bridge running around? Where are they? What are they doing? Who are they with? And do they still see me? Can they still, communicate with me? Are they around? Do they disappear? Do they just stop existing? I think those things, I had those kind of questions, and animal communication has allowed me to connect the dots and really see what happens when we leave our bodies, and that the animals have taught me they don't fear death like we do. They don't want to die. I mean, animals don't have a death wish like some humans do, of course. And not that, humans want to die. We don't want to die either, but they don't fear it.
They don't have the baggage we have either.
Right. They accept it. Yeah. They're very accepting. They only stress out about it, of course, if they're in physical pain, but when we stress out about it. So, most animals are like, what, my body is failing me. I'm miserable. I don't, I'm not really, I'm just existing. I'm not living anymore. I'm just kind of getting through the day. This, to me, is not life. This isn't living. And, yeah, they're very accepting that their body has failed them. And so that was a real big lesson for me, because I used to be that pet parent that used to do everything under the sun to save their pet, and procedure after procedure after, thousands and thousands of dollars, and oh my God, we have to keep it alive. And that changed with me, because I realized that we all have an expiration date, and, animals just express it with dignity, that this is just the next phase of their existence, and they understand they're going to be transitioning into spirit form. And if we don't freak out about it, we can make it a very peaceful transition for them. That was a huge lesson for me, because I was not that person at one time.
Yeah, they pick up on the energy from you. They know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, people have asked me, well, is my pet going to come back? And I'm like, of course they are. I have 2 puppies right now that are about 5.5 months old, and they are the reincarnation of Jenny and Jewel, the 2 sister Dobermans that I had. And these are 2 sisters, and they're exactly the same mannerisms and everything.
Oh, wow.
It's like, oh, you guys decided to come back? Okay. All right. No problem.
Yeah. They always come back. They come back sometimes multiple times. And, that was a big one for me, too, because even at one point, I didn't even really believe in reincarnation. I didn't even, I thought it was a bunch of hooey. And
did I lose you? Oops. There we go.
I'm here.
We're here.
Okay, I blipped. Okay.
We're here.
We're back.
So that was a whole new area for me to learn about. So animals have taught me about, really life and living, death and dying, reincarnation. They really are smarter than most people.
Yep. And they're just, God, we are. Because, they don't have all our baggage, they don't have all our hang-ups, and they're just simple creatures, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'm going home. I'm good with that.
Yep, they are.
Do you have anything neat and new coming up this year?
Hosting the next one coming up is a free webinar I'm hosting in March. On the 13th, it is a live Q&A, animal communication Q&A. Anything you've ever wanted to ask about the process, how it works, what the animals talk about, what messages feel like, what they're doing on the other side. It is an open platform live Q&A. And, so that's really cool. I also have a coaching program that is geared toward anyone who is getting serious about their animal communication skills, that wants to either become a professional like I am, or if they just really want to go on a deeper level. And it is a 90-day program where you get me all to yourself. You're not in a group. You're not on a Facebook page. You're not lost in the big sea of little fishies swimming around. And I work with you one-on-one for your goals. So that's really exciting. And I do offer an online course for those who are just discovering what animal communication is. It's an introductory course. And I also provide step-by-step help and support through that. Even though it is online, I'm still just an email away. So that's really exciting because I love teaching this. Don't you guys love it when somebody gets a message and they're like, oh my God, I got a message. It's like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
So those
We're having Skype difficulty.
Well, we're okay. Nope, Karen, there she is.
Okay. We're back. Yeah, that's cool. Are you going to go be at the Ghost Conference this year?
No, and I'll tell you why. I have 6 geriatric cats here in my house. I have, they're all 15 and over.
Oh, my.
And I've got a diabetic, I've got an asthma cat, and I've got a thyroid cat, and I've got one that's dementia cat. And and I knew this was going to happen because I rescued them all at the same time, and they were all about the same age. But I have 6 cats that are age 15 and over, and I can't. They need medication, and I can't do it. I wouldn't sleep. I would be a total wreck the whole time I was gone.
Oh, your fur babies come first.
They do, and they've been such a blessing to me, and I'm just going to have to put their needs first right now. So I won't be at the Ghost Conference, but I will be, watching all of the activity as it happens and certainly tuning in. But I don't have any events right now, in-person events, because of my geriatric cat situation. Anyone who has a diabetic cat, you guys can feel my pain because it's twice daily injections. And this cat that is diabetic is a scaredy cat. So even if I had somebody come over,
Wouldn't
they'd be too traumatized.
Yeah, and he would hide, and they wouldn't be able to inject him, and I can't do it. So no, I won't be there.
Are they using the short-acting insulin or the Lantus?
Lantus.
To get it BID. So is my husband.
Yep. So, but on the flip side of that, I'm doing a lot of webinars. So anyone who's interested in learning, check out the webinars. And I started putting together my next manuscript, which is going to be a follow-up to The Amazing Afterlife of Animals, with more stories and more afterlife adventures. So, I've got my work cut out for me there because I have, if you can imagine all the stories in all the different sessions that I've had, it's like putting all of them together is a huge task.
It is.
I don't know that anyone who hasn't written a book can understand this monumental.
I'm doing one right now that I hope to have done and out in June it's a biography. It's called Demon Seer. So,
what's it called?
Demon Seer.
Demon Seer. Oh, nice.
So it'll be out in June, and it's like, okay. So I'm trying to get it finished. It's up to 200 pages already, so it's like,
my goodness.
I'm only about halfway through.
Yay. So yes, writing is oh my gosh, it is a titanic, monumental, huge task. And, plus I'm still doing my sessions, and I've got my coaching clients, I'm doing webinars, and I'm writing a manuscript. It's like, what? What?
Yeah. I know. I still work full time as a nurse, and
Right.
And I do my paranormal investigations, Wendy and I do, and then, writing the manuscript. So I was writing 4 at the same time, and I finally said, they got to, focus on one of them at a time.
Eventually, they're going to bleed together and be very confusing.
I know. And then I say, okay, I'm not putting anything else on my plate. I'm not putting anything else on my plate. That's it. And then I turn around and go, oh, I should really transfer that online course over to my membership site on my website because, yeah, let's do that. So then I have 15 chapters of stuff that I have to transfer over from. It's like, oh my gosh, it just never ends.
Yeah.
Never ends. Oh, and I forgot about this. See, here's one more thing. I have a Facebook page for female entrepreneurs to provide sales and marketing tactics and techniques. So anybody, females only, it's ladies only, sorry guys. It's called Boom, Business is Booming. You can find it on my Facebook page. And it's where I share all of my secrets, tips, hacks. I share all my mistakes, bloopers, and blunders of what I did so that other people don't do the same stupid things that I did. And, I found that in my sessions that I had with my clients that if they wanted to be a professional, either animal communicator or psychic or just anything in the spiritual realm, Reiki, whatever they want to do, energy work, women in business tend to get overwhelmed, and they let their fears and doubts get in their way and stop them from launching their dream business because they think they're not smart enough, they think they don't know how to market, they don't know anything about a website builder and all of that email campaign and everything that goes into it. And you know what? If I can figure this out, anybody can figure this out. So I show my Facebook group how to do these things so that they can launch their dream business. So that's another thing I do too.
That's cool. See, you got too many hats on.
I know.
You don't sleep. You can't. Not at this rate.
It's really getting to that point. We have to go, okay, enough is enough. No more. No more. Not taking on any more.
You hope.
I know.
Then somebody says, and then you're like, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds like me. Yeah, I know.
So it's all good stuff, though. I mean, it's really, it's all really fun stuff. It's great information, and it's helping people. It's helping animals, and that feels really good when you can do that. When you're in service to people, when you're helping them, when you're solving a problem, when you're taking care of the client, when you're taking care of the animals, it's very fulfilling, and you get kind of sucked in. You get sucked into that helping mode. And, as paranormal investigators, you know that too, because you're trying to determine, do we even have paranormal activity here? Do we even have a haunting? Is there something else going on here? I mean, you're trying to help that client in those investigations go, we've just got residual here. There's nothing, evil.
We have a local issue here.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. You got an EMF because your box is wired wrong.
Yep. And you guys know you've been bitten by that bug too of, being in service to clients and helping them and wanting to, do right by them. And it's very addicting, to be a light worker and to be somebody that, serves their clients and takes care of them. And you have to have really good boundaries, and you have to know when to say when to say no. And sometimes I'm challenged with that, but certainly, it leads for lots of interesting stories and interaction, and I love it. I love this work. I can't imagine doing anything else. I can't imagine ever doing anything else. I'm so lucky.
It is a blessing to get to do it. I've had multiple people say, why don't you have more videos of this or that? Well, it's like I tell them, we are dealing with human lives, human feelings, hearts, all these things, and we have to protect them to the best of our abilities.
Yeah,
we don't put people's faces out there.
No, I know. It's the same way, too, with my coaching clients, and I protect their privacy, and everything's confidential, and I don't put their stories out there. And I just feel that it's a personal journey. And if somebody reaches out to me and wants me to help them along their way, that's an honor and a privilege, and I respect that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just don't go, advertising it to the public.
No.
It's something that's private, between you and your client.
Exactly.
Evidence we'll put out there will have us in it, or we're looking around, the surroundings, but we're not going to try to blot out people's faces. No, that goes into the private realms, and that's where it stays.
Exactly. And and you guys probably know this is true, that whatever the animal's behavior is, let's say there's some kind of a anxiety issue or a fearful issue or a stress issue or even a aggression or dominance issue, it can always be traced back to the person.
People. Yes. I had a guy contact me and say, I really need you to talk to my dog because, ever since we moved up here from California, there's been some issues with him. And I'm like, okay, I've come out and talked to him. So I came out, and it ended up being talking to 4 different animals. And it's like, I said, it's your wife. Your wife is stressed. Your wife is feeling alone and isolated, and her energy is not good. And this one wants to make her energy good. He's trying to make it. It's like growling at her and saying, come on, straight down. I said, that's the whole yard. Once she was able to do that, then the behavior stopped.
I'm just chuckling because you're preaching to the choir right here. It's so true. So anytime you have any kind of behavioral problem, you have to step out of it and look at your own behavior. What are you contributing to this recipe? Are you the main ingredient? Are you putting stress into this?
In that case, it was the main ingredient.
I guess
all the dogs agreed.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
That's so crazy woman.
Yeah, it's her fault. She's doing it. She's making them crazy. Okay.
Yep. And I've had, so many circumstances too where I've had clients contact me and say, I think my dog or my cat is seeing spirits in my house because they're staring up at the ceiling, or they're growling at the corner, or they're acting weird, or they're, running and hiding when, and that's so true. And animals can see spirits. They can hear spirits. They're way more sensitive than we are.
They're like little ones, before their little brains are twisted and told what they're seeing and said is wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, they see that ultraviolet spectrum that, we can't see. So,
right.
I see you. What are you doing to my house?
Yep.
Just go away.
So yeah, that's really cool. I hear that a lot too. And I always get the same thing. My dog or my cat is staring up into the corner. There's always like a corner. It's like always like up there in that corner, or down the hallway, down into the corner. It's like always in corners. So what's going on there?
Or if you used to go into a room or into
Yeah, I've had that happen.
That they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we've done quite a few of those with some of our removals. It's like, okay, our 27 animals are freaking out here. Can you come help us? Or we started out with 16, and we have 3 now. We have a big problem.
Yeah, we went in on a case where the negative, the demonic, was actually killing the animals.
Oh my gosh.
Horrible.
So it was not good.
No, and one had died that morning, and I went over to the cage, not knowing what had been in there or anything, and I'm like, whatever lived in there, liked to put its head in here, and it liked, I described it, and they're just looking at me really funny. It was their bird. Used to like to put its little head under their arm.
Oh.
And they came down that morning and found that its head had been twisted.
Oh.
Yeah. It was, and I could still feel the coldness. I'm like, okay, this is so not cool.
I hope you got rid of it.
Oh, yeah. I hate the sponge. It'll never do that again.
It's one of those things, it's a very interesting situation. We may go back. It affects the whole area.
Yeah. It wasn't just, there were some satanic worshipers in the little forested area behind their house. And they came out one morning and found a pentagram in their backyard, a huge one. It was not good.
Oh, my gosh.
We went out there together. We stood, what we didn't know was on either end of this thing. And they were just standing there going, that's right where it was. You guys are on either end of it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. So she went and took care of her creepies, and I went and took care of my creepies. And then they come through, and let's add houses to where the satanic worshiping took place. Yeah. So guess who went back there again this year?
Yeah, we had to go back.
Had to go back, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, boy, you're really barking up the wrong tree with me, pun intended, if you're hurting animals. You know, that's where I draw the line. It's like, nope. No bueno.
No, that's what I call an emergency. Kids and animals. I call that an emergency.
And they had both. And an elder. They had an elder in the home, too.
Oh, man.
You name it, the mixture is there. So we know we're probably going to have to go back again at some point. You know, the homeowner knows that we're going to probably have to come back out. Some things just come and go in layers. You just got to handle them one thing at a time.
Yep.
So I'm sure that'll be coming soon.
Yeah. The critters.
Yep.
There's never a dull moment. That's the thing. There's always something going on. Always somebody needs help. It's like almost every day I get, requests for help. And it's just like, okay.
It's amazing how much activity is going on out there and what people are experiencing. And, it's crazy. And I have to blame humans because it's brought on by humans. They're the ones that are doing it, and they're the ones that are bringing it on. Not the people who are the victims, of course, but the ones that are out there dealing with stuff they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. I had an email from some girl asking me about, what about conjuring demons? And I'm like, you don't want to do that?
Yeah.
And then I get an email back from her, why? And I'm like, because of the consequences. And then I get an email back, what consequences? I'm like,
oh my God.
Yeah, we've both gotten, it got to the point one time where I had to block somebody and warn June. I'm like, okay, this is what's been going on. This is what this person wants. And no, we're not going there. We do our best for the good.
Yeah. I tell them, I take them out. I don't call them in.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Get rid of them. Clean house.
Yeah.
Exactly. And for some reason, some people are backwards enough that they think you're going to help them do this. And I don't know on what planet they think we're going to help them do this.
What's wrong with this picture? It's called not bring it.
I can't wrap my brain around it to this day. It's like, you want what?
Yep.
Yeah, no.
People are strange.
And that's on a good day. So what kind of sites do you have that people can find you on?
Yes, we want to know.
Okay, so the best way to reach me is my website, which is simply KarenAnderson.net. And there is all kinds of info on my website about how animal communication works and the courses I offer and the sessions that I offer. And you can also find me on Facebook. I forget what I'm on there, though. Karen Anderson, animal communicator, author, or afterlife expert or something. I don't know. Go to June's page and then Wendy's page and then find me.
Yep.
That's the thing. I couldn't say what you are.
I don't know. I don't know what that is. And then, of course, the business is booming. That's all Facebook, and you can find that once you find me. But yeah, definitely the easiest way to find me is just KarenAnderson.net. And of course, my book is out on Amazon Kindle and Audible and Barnes and Noble and Smashwords and all of those places too. The Amazing Afterlife of Animals. For anyone who is struggling with the loss of a pet, it can help you find your smile again.
It's under Karen Anderson, best-selling author.
Oh, there we go. I did not know that. I must have done that a while ago because I don't remember doing that. Don't get old.
Who am
I?
I just know Karen Anderson. I don't pay attention to the title,
That's funny. Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to miss you this year. You always have such interesting speeches and things to do, and
I appreciate that.
Well, hopefully next year you can come.
Maybe next year. We'll see how my little geriatric ward is doing next year.
Your fur babies are, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I got married recently, didn't you?
What's that?
You got married recently.
Yes, I am still a newlywed.
Look at that man.
I am a newlywed. And get this, he was into paranormal before he met me.
Nice.
So that was
yeah, have that.
Yeah, you have something in common. That's a good place to start for anyone.
And that's a really important one, to have that support and somebody who gets it.
Yeah, somebody who understands.
Definitely, it makes all the difference in the world, and it is truly. It's been a life-changing. I know about you guys would agree with me here. What we do is life-changing for us. We're learning and growing. Every single case we have, every single client we help, we're learning and we're growing. And just when you think you've seen it all, boom, here comes something. It's like, whoa. There's so much we don't know out there. And that's what I love about it. It's not like anyone can say, oh, I know everything there is to know about. It's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Things change.
Well,
that's right.
It's just like to know people about the other side, about, the negatives. Forget, I wrote a book called The Dark Side of the Paranormal. It's like, first thing I say is forget everything you think you know about the dark side.
Right.
Because you don't know anything.
Exactly.
If you actually dealt with these things, you don't know anything. And my grandma was a wise lady. She says, always keep an open mind, because there are things out there that you and I have never even conceived of. So always keep an open mind.
Yep.
And
very
so
good advice.
Yeah.
And no two are alike.
No. It's a learning experience. We're learning. I consider myself a student. I'm a student, and I'm still learning. And every client I have, every opportunity I have is an opportunity to learn something new. And I take that information and apply it forward and use it down the road, or help another client with it. But truly, even to this day, with working with thousands of clients over the last 20 years, I still have things happen to me that just blow my mind. It's like, what just happened? And who can say that with their job? Who can say that they have that happen to them? It's just, we're so lucky. We're so fortunate to be able to do this work. So
there's always something. It's just like life. Life is always changing. So you have to grow with it. You can't stay stagnated, because I've known people in the paranormal that they just, this is what I know, and this is what I'm comfortable with, and this is what I'm staying with. They don't think outside the box. They don't grow. You have to grow.
You have to.
Some touch you more than others. Some will leave a lasting imprint on you. They change you. they leave you always, whenever you think back, you sit there and go, did that really happen? Did I witness that? Was I really a part of that?
Yep.
You know, not all of them do, you know, but there are those few that are like, I didn't just go through that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. It's cool and crazy and wild, and I love. Don't you guys love it when people say, "Well, what do you do for a living?" And and then you tell them, and they just kind of look at you like, "What did you just say?"
Exactly. Like what? You say you do what?
They'll go, interesting.
Have no clue, but oh yeah, okay.
That's cool. I love this one. They seem to think there's so few of us out there that we all know each other.
I know.
Oh,
You talk to so and so, right? It's like, no.
Oh. Yeah. Or you live in a certain place, and they're like, "Well, do you know the Johnsons?" I'm like,
right.
No.
Yeah. I had a client one time. I got an email one time from someone who just ripped me a new one saying, "I want my money back. I am so upset," and blah blah blah, and this, that, and the other, and she started telling me about what I did and what I didn't do in the session, and I was like, I don't think I did this session. I think you have the wrong person. And it turned out she did. She had someone else by the name of Karen that had done her applications. And she was ripping me a new one, telling me how awful I was, and she demanded her money back. And I was like, I
have no money to give you.
I can't help you. You got the wrong.
I know you.
You got the wrong Karen. Oh, I'm sorry, she said.
Oh, no.
I know.
Well, ladies, it's that time. It went so fast.
I know. It goes by really fast. Thank you for having me on. You guys are awesome. I love you both. And, you know, I'm really excited that you have this show on. And I know it's going to be awesome. And you guys are just bringing such great stuff to the airwaves. So thank you for doing what you do and getting rid of those nasty little dark energies that don't belong.
They need to go away.
Yeah. We love having you, Karen. As always, you're so interesting to talk to. I have a friend in England that says, "You're having an animal communicator on? I want to listen." Of course, she's 8 hours ahead, so she'll listen in retrospect.
Right on.
Well, thank you so much, dear.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Love you both.
Love you too.
Darling. Keep up the great work.
Yes.
Will.
Okay. Take it easy.
Good night.
Bye.
The dark side is always there, waiting for us to enter, waiting to enter us. Until next time, try to enjoy the daylight.